Hi everyone, my name is Bea and welcome to my first podcast for my channel Stitches and Blooms, or Stitches and Blooms. Like I said, my name is Bea and I live here in Manchester with my husband, and I wanted to come and I wanted to do a podcast for quite a while now. I did try last year and gave up because the camera just kept messing about and I just couldn't get it right, and so I gave up. But then now this year I just thought I'd try again, so welcome. So Stitches and Blooms. So what is my podcast about? So basically my podcast is going to be about crafting. I'm hoping that you can get from Stitches and Blooms that it's going to be about crafting, and the blooms bit is I also like to potter about in my garden, and I've just recently got an allotment, so maybe some of that as well. Not too much of that, it will mainly be about crochet. So I started to crochet I started last year. I've always done crafting. I've always done I did paper crafting for a little bit, and I could knit a little bit, and I've always tried to crochet and I could never get it right. I just couldn't get the, how you do the manipulation of the things. I'm really sorry because I'm at the front of my house, and so the sun is just kind of going, so I mean you're probably getting a big bright thing here. Probably my hands are really bright, but we're just catching the sun there, so it could be that. So I started to, and I tried to do it, and I just couldn't get it right. I really couldn't get it right. And then last year, I think it was just last year, I'm very new to crochet. Last year it just clicked like that. I think I watched, I think it was Play Hooky with Me, and she showed you how to do a granny square, and I've been watching YouTube videos and things trying to learn how to do it, get the tension right, get your hook right and everything, and it just clicked, and I was away and I was literally hooked, and I just love crochet, I really do. It's so therapeutic. It grows really quickly, a lot quicker than the knitting does. I know it uses more yarn, I believe, I think, but yeah, it's a lot quicker, and you can see things progressing quickly, can't you? When you do your crochet, you can see things getting, growing and things like that. So yeah, so only since last year, so I wanted to do the podcast because I am a beginner. I still count myself as a beginner. And I think as a beginner, when you look sometimes at podcasts and you see all these amazing things that people are doing, you might feel a bit intimidated. So I just wanted to be a podcaster who maybe, inspired newbies, inspired beginners, and I just like to share. I wanted to just share things that I've made. So this is my podcast, Stitches and Blooms. So welcome. I hope that you'll find this interesting. You can find me on Instagram under Stitches and Blooms as well. That's a new account, so you will find me there as well. So let's start with what I first crocheted. So what I first crocheted was, besides granny squares and just bits and pieces of things, was this chevron blanket. And it is huge, as you can see, it is huge. And it was done in paint box chunky. It came as a pack, these colours, they came as packs. Like I say, it was at the beginning of last year. And I just went with it, and this was, it's the size of a king size bed across. So as you can see, it goes across the bottom of my bed, and it's kind of a runner at the bottom of the bed, so it doesn't fill the bed. but it does go across our king size bed. So yeah, so that was my first kind of proud project that I made. I was so happy with it, and this wool is just it's so lovely, really. I mean, it's only acrylic wool, but you know, it's so heavy. In winter, it is so heavy. It's lovely, you know, and just to sit downstairs sometimes and have this wrapped around you is really nice. So like I said, that was paint box chunky yarn, and the pattern that I followed was by Bonnie Bay Creates, or Bonnie Bay, definitely. I don't know if it was Create. So yeah, so I'll leave the link if I can down below so that you can see where I got the pattern from. But yeah, so if you're a newbie and you want to try something, maybe try something like this. It was really easy to do. I think I used a bigger, maybe a size 6, and basically it's just, you know, granny clusters going up and down in a chevron. So yeah, so really easy make, that one. I'm just looking at the time, I'm on 6 minutes already. So that was my first kind of project. And then one of my latest ones, I'm going to call them FPs, not finished projects, FPs, that I've just done recently. This is for somebody as a present, and this is the hexagon cardie. And again, it's basically granny clusters. So instead of doing a granny square and building on it, again, this is chunky wool, and this is emu chunky wool, and it's kind of a cropped, it's a cropped cardigan, it's not a long line cardigan, and it's not for me, it is a present for somebody. So there you go. And the colours, I love the colours. Like I say, it's emu chunky wool, this. Yeah, so basically all you do is you do a hexagon. So instead of doing a granny square, so start with your granny square and you build up with your clusters that are going around. This is a hexagon. Okay, so you do these 2 hexagons. So this here is one hexagon, and then this is the other hexagon, you can see, and then at the back you join them together. So you can see here that I've kind of continued with the colours at the back, so that's the join at the back, and then just added a band, and yeah, done a cuffed sleeve. I didn't do the sleeves as big as they should be because I don't like really big baggy sleeves. I mean, that is quite thingy, but I thought with a cuff it brings it in, kind of thing. So yeah, so this is for somebody's present in November. I don't think she'll be watching this, but you know, you never know. And with that, I had some wool left over, and so the person who it is has also got a dog. So I tried to make, I don't know if you can see, I tried to make a dog. It's if she does watch this, she'll know it's for her now anyway, but it's for my niece and she's got a whippet. So I thought I'd try and make him a coat. Okay, now I don't know if it probably won't fit him. I've not tried. I might have to take this bit out there for his legs. So whippets have got quite, I don't know if you can think of a whippet, it's got quite a deep, he has got quite a deep, he's very skinny, but he's got quite a deep chest going around, and then he goes really skinny at the back, so he kind of goes like that kind of shape. So I really don't know whether this will fit him. I might end up taking this bit out here and then just putting a band underneath so that he's just got that on the back, and it is basically a rectangle granny rectangle in the same colours as my niece's jacket. So when she takes him for walkies, they'll have the same. But like I said, I think I will end up having to unpick. I think I'll be taking this out, this ribbed bit, and then because these were supposed to be for his legs, but I'm not sure. I haven't measured him or anything, so whether it fits, who knows. So I might have to just unpick it and then just put a band across. But yeah, so that's another thing. That's another FP, finished project. Yeah, but it's quite cute. And if it does fit him, oh, it'll be so good. Honestly, it'll be so funny. But apparently I showed it to my sister and she said, oh, she'll love that. And then it kind of, and then she said, but I don't know if you'll be able to get it on him because he doesn't like to put things on. And when he does have a coat on, he has one of those that just has the band underneath. So I may have to unpick it, like I say, but the thought was there and the concept. So yeah, so I may have to see what I can do about it. But yeah, so that's another finished project. So for this week, that's my finished projects. My unfinished projects, my UFPs, I'm going to call them. I know people normally call them WIBs, but I just thought I'd shake things up, bring something new to the table. Unfinished projects is what I'm going to call them. Is here in this lovely bag, which I got last week off Etsy from, now I have to say this, I have to watch how I say this. It is Norfolk So and So on Etsy, and this was, it was actually classed as a wash bag. She does do project bags, but this was in the sale. It's beautiful, isn't it? I love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's just a little drawstring bag, and like I say, she had this classed as, you know, advertised as a wash bag, and it's just cotton. It's not plastic or anything. It's just cotton fabric. Yeah, and I just loved the pattern on it, and it was £5. I mean, you know, and I just thought, well, I'll have a look. I hadn't you know, ordered from this lady before, and I just thought, oh, I'll give it a go. And yeah, so I was really pleased. So, and it's just big enough, probably for, you know, socks, a scarf, you know, smaller projects maybe, not too big. Yeah, so I'm just going to stop the camera because it's coming up to 12 minutes and it was coming up to 12 minutes and I knew that it only goes for 15. So okay, so this is one of my unfinished projects. Just look at those colours, aren't they gorgeous? I just love these colours on this. It's a scarf if you can't tell, and it is quite a longish scarf. You know, it's not, it's quite, you can wrap it round, you know, you can wrap it round your neck. And the colours are actually quite true to, so it's kind of like a rainbow. And this, I'll tell you what the wool is in a bit. This wool is obviously, what do you call it? A gradient cake. It was in a cake anyway. And this is, I just love the colours. Look at those colours, just such a lovely rainbow colours, aren't they? They're so bright. Imagine wearing that in autumn. That would just brighten anything up, wouldn't it? It's absolutely gorgeous. And then basically, it's just a puff stitch. So it's a row of 3 rows of moss stitch and a puff stitch. 3 rows of moss stitch and a puff stitch. And I must admit, it wasn't my favourite thing to do. I think because it was so long, I think there's 300 stitches. I think there was. I'm sure there was 300 stitches. And doing single crochet and then puff stitches. I know you do every other stitch for puff stitches, and it was a single stitch then. For the moss stitch, it was a single stitch and chain 1. So, and yeah, it did get a bit tedious towards the end. So I've got these 2. I didn't know if I'd have enough of the wool, and I have got these 2 bits left because this green, I don't know if you can see it, this green here, it kind of went into like a mossy green, this green, but I wanted to end on well, I wanted to have a border of kind of a light colour, like it was the orange at the bottom. So I wanted to get that, but then looking at it, I might do another, I think I've got enough there to do another row of puff stitches and another row of moss stitch. So I might do that, or they might get used for tassels on the end of the scarf, because I haven't done, so it's nearly finished, but like I said, I didn't know whether another row of these moss stitches, so you talk another row like that, so it might just make it more of a substantial scarf. I didn't know if it was too thin, too narrow, you know, but I think it's okay. So that's the decision that I need to make. So if you want to make a comment and let me know what you think, should I make them into tassels, or should I continue and do another row of a puff stitch to make it, you know, a little bit bigger? Let me know if you want to in the comments below, if anybody is going to watch this podcast and comment on it. Who never knows. And that was done in Dreamcatcher, Stylecraft Dreamcatcher. It's 90% acrylic, 10% wool. It's a DK weight, and there are 435 metres. I did get this probably last year sometime, and I did try to look for it. I couldn't find it. I could find Stylecraft Dreamcatcher, but I couldn't find this. It's called Rainbow Dreams. You know, is that back to front? I don't know if that's going to be back to front, but it's called Dreamcatcher. Sorry, it's called Rainbow Dreams. So I don't know if you can still get it or not. Like I said, I did look and I couldn't see it, so I don't know. And I'm doing it on a 5, if you can see that, a 5mm hook. Okay, so that's one of my UFPs, unfinished projects. One of my other unfinished projects is a baby blanket. I think it's going to be a baby blanket. Yeah, I saw Crystal from Bag a Day Crochet. Crystal, isn't it? Sure, it's Crystal. And she did a gorgeous blanket. It was called the Vintage Wallpaper Blanket, something like that. And she used a Karen sprinkle cake, I think it was called. And it just looked gorgeous. It was beautiful. But obviously we don't, or is it? Yeah, I think it was Karen. And the wool, I think you needed about 5 balls of the wool for the size of blanket that she did. She did quite a big substantial blanket. And there's something like, because obviously Karen isn't an English, it's an American brand, isn't it? So they're not exactly the cheapest of things. So go and check it out anyway. Like I say, I'm Crystal's Bag a Day Crochet, and it's the Vintage Wallpaper, and it was beautiful, and it was very much like this kind of woolly flexing. And I saw this on the Knitting Network. I love the Knitting Network. I get a lot of my wool from the Knitting Network, and I've also paid I think it was £19 for the year, and then I get unlimited free delivery, which I didn't think was too bad, because every time, if it's under say £30, you're paying £3.95 I think for delivery. So it, you know, I do get a lot of wool. So yeah, so this is it is, I just love it. It's beautiful, and this I think is I'm going to say the alpine stitch. I think it is. It's gorgeous. It's so textured. It is so textured. I don't know if you can see that, but it is. It's lovely. I'm really enjoying doing it, and it's my favourite stitch, which is the half treble crochet in England in UK terms, and the half double crochet in American terms. And like I say, I am loving this the effect that this wool is having. It's kind of a creamy peach colour, the wool, and then it's got these flecks running through it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I'll show you the wool in a bit, and I'm doing it on a size 4.5. It's a DK weight, and I'm doing it on a size 4.5, and I'm going to hopefully, like I say, make a baby blanket, put a border around it. Yeah, so it's a half double crochet and a line of half double crochets, sorry, 2 half double crochets into 1 stitch, miss a stitch, 2 half double crochets, I think that's right, and then the second row is just a row of a single crochet. So this, so I don't know if you can see the ridge, I can't point it out. So this ridge here is your single crochet. I don't know if that's coming across. Can you see the ridges in there? Yeah. So the ridges are the single crochets, and then kind of like the half double crochets into 1 stitch is what is making it quite textured. So yeah, I'm loving that, and it's growing quite quickly. So yeah, I'm really liking that. And the wool, like I say, it's from the Knitting Network, and it is called Sunflower Meadow DK. So Sunflower is one of the Knitting Network's own kind of, you can see it better there, kind of. Look at those lovely greens. They're quite bright greens. It's not quite as bright as that really. Like a tealy, like a muted tealy colour really, and a rosy pink. Yeah, so that is it's got 200 meters on it. It's 100% anti-pilling acrylic, 100 gram ball, and like I say, Sunflower is kind of the Knitting Network's own brand. So they've got a few different yarns in this Sunflower, but this is Sunflower Meadow DK. Okay, and it is in, I'm keeping this, please don't tell me that I'm going to unravel everything, in this lovely little bag that I got from the charity shop the other day, and I love it. It's got handles, it's got a zip. I don't think there's a pocket on the front. There is a pocket, so you can kind of, oh, that's come off, that's probably why it was at a charity shop. Yeah, there's no pockets inside though, I don't think. No, there isn't, but there's a zip on it. So I think that's really cute. £2.50. It's a bargain, isn't it? It's a bargain. Okay, so that is what I'm working on. So they're my unfinished projects, and they were my finished projects. So yeah, so I think I was also going to maybe include in my podcasts maybe some books that I've been reading that I would like to recommend to you, and maybe some television that we've been watching. Yeah, so let's get on to that one. I'm just going to turn off again because sorry about that. So yeah, so the last segment of my podcast, I thought I would just show you some things, tell you about some books I've been reading, and maybe what am I going on about? Tell you about some television programs, series that me and my husband have been watching that maybe, sometimes it's nice, isn't it, that, people recommend things, because especially now coming into autumn and the nights are getting darker, and, the nights are drawing in now, aren't they? The days are going shorter, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, so one of the books that I have there's a couple here. One of the books that I have been reading, I've nearly finished it, is Bob Mortimer's autobiography. I don't know if you know who Bob Mortimer is. He's a comedian. Well, some people may say he's a comedian, some people may not. Depends on your humour, doesn't it? He's got a little bit of a silly sense of humour, I would say. He used to do Shooting Stars with Vic Reeves. and I just it was in the, I normally get a lot of my books from either a charity shop, or I will go, you know, to, I don't know if they do them near you, but Morrison's and Tesco do have like bookcases now where people have brought books in, and you can put money in the charity. They've got like you know, one of the boxes. So yeah, you just put your money in. Yeah, so I get a lot of my books from there, and some of them are really good. So yeah, so this is one, and whether you like him or not, it is an interesting story. And he has been, he's had, I think it's a triple bypass. I think it was a triple bypass that he's had to have. Yeah, so it's kind of his life story going from when he was a kid. And then obviously as he's gone through his life, you know, gone to university. I think he was a solicitor or something like that, or a lawyer. And then now, obviously, and then going through his treatment of his heart. He had a heart attack and things like that. But yeah, it's a good read. I enjoyed it. And that leads me on to, and that's why it's called And Away. If you've never seen it, I love it. And if you just said to me, I was watching a programme about fishing and two men just fishing and talking, I would have said, really? But yeah, if you've not seen it, it is called Gone Fishing, and it is Bob Mortimer and Paul Whitehouse, and basically they go fishing, but it's just funny. It's two grumpy old men who've both had heart problems. I think Paul Whitehouse has had stents put in his heart, and like I say, Bob Mortimer has had heart surgery. So yeah, so they both go on about what, you know, it's just two grumpy old men who go on about life while they're fishing, and it's just gentle humour, it's daft humour, but yeah, and it's an insight into maybe how men, because you know, as women you don't really know how men interact with each other, do you? But this is just, I'm not, they do actually love each other, you know, they do actually care for each other and look out for each other, and it's just nice, and it is just a nice programme. It's on for half an hour, yeah, and then they go fishing, and then sometimes they have guests on. I think on some of the programmes I've not seen some guests, so I don't know if they always have guests on. Maybe in these later ones they might do. But yeah, so if you've not seen it, maybe give it a go. Like I say, the premise for it, you know, two men gone fishing, you wouldn't want to watch it. And I think it's on either BBC, it is on BBC Two, so it could be on BBC iPlayer. And I think Dave has it on, you know, on Dave on the UK channel anyway, on Freeview. So yeah, so if you've not seen that, maybe give that a go. I enjoy it, and I've enjoyed this book, and I enjoy that programme. Like I say, you just sit and you just laugh because they are just two grumpy old men. Yeah, and I've got it in my little book bag here. So yeah, so that's something that, you know, just something. As you can probably see, I don't know if you can, but these were just some of the wools that are left over from my blanket, you know, from the one that I showed you at the beginning, the chevron. So it's just chunky wool, and I'm not sure, there's just a few, obviously this is a bit of a peak along the edge. I think that was maybe back post half double crochet. They look like clusters, don't they, of some kind. Who knows what it was? I made it last year, so, but yeah, it's just nice to put the book in, keep the book nice and clean and tidy. Yeah, so that's it. So that's my first podcast over with. What do you think? I hope you've enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I just felt like I'm talking to a friend. I hope that's how it's come across. I hope that you've, you know, especially as a newbie, I hope that maybe you'll give some of those a go. I've got to say, the hexagon cardigan, I think it was Craft and a Cuppa. I'll leave the link below, and she does it on her YouTube channel, and it's free, so you can watch it and see how to do that. So if you want to have a go, and like I say, all of these are very basic really easy beginner projects, I would say. If you know how to double crochet, you can do those, so that's not difficult. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for your company today. Please comment below on anything, maybe on my scarf. Should I continue with more rows, use up those balls of wool, or should I just, do tassels using those? I don't know, but if you'd like to comment, please do. Thank you for joining me today, and obviously if you would please subscribe. I would like to try and get at least 10 subscribers so for next week I can come on and say, yay, I've got 10 subscribers. But yeah, so give me a thumbs up and hopefully subscribe. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to me today, to waffling on. Hopefully it might be a bit more coherent next week. Probably when I watch this back it'll be like, what are you talking about? What have you gone on about? But hopefully you will know, you'll understand. It's my first podcast and I'm a bit nervous. Yeah, so I'll stop now, and thank you so much, and I shall see you hopefully next week. Bye.